Well, God bless you. I appreciate you showing up again this morning. I know I'm like 4 minutes late. Forgive me. We are at the Springfield Mall Gateway where we're going to be planting a church in April. And there were some things that had to be done. I had to carry some stuff in, get to working. This isn't just a preacher. This is a working preacher. So appreciate your indulgence. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this live streaming video broadcast. We appreciate it. We hope that it is being beneficial for you, and we would encourage you to write us at Pastor Randy at msn.com. That's Pastor Randy at msn.com, and we'd love to hear from you. We have been talking for the last several days on making an impact or being effective in our community. If you hear other people around, again, it's because we're in the mall. There are mall walkers that are walking. We've got children over there that are playing. Just kind of the sights and the sounds of what we will be doing and where we will be in the mall at Gateway, Springfield, Oregon. Kind of exciting, if you ask me. Pretty exciting. But we've been talking about how to affect our community. And one of the ways that we do that is by being a servant to the people, to make sure that when we talk to people, they realize that we are not here to get a blessing, but we're here to become a blessing. And so that's what we have been discussing, and we want to continue that today. One of the things that we talked about yesterday was being able to forgive people, being able to move in a direction where we can help somebody. And one of the things that I want to talk to you about for a few moments is one of the people that you have to forgive is yourself. It's one of the hardest things to do. One of the hardest things to do as a human being is to forgive ourselves. Nobody seems to beat me up any better than myself. When something is said about me, I can ignore it and say it doesn't bother me, but I admit I go through a battle when it is about me. But somehow I've got to come to the place, according to the Bible, that if I am holding on to things in my past, then I'm holding on to things that have already been forgotten by God. I myself, at times, it's so easy to forgive others, but it is so difficult to forgive myself. Somehow I've got to get to the place that forgiving myself, I do not because I have the power to do it, but because that my past has already been forgiven by the one that has the power to do it, by Jesus Christ. And so the first thing that I've got to do is I have got to learn how to forgive myself. Secondly, I've got to learn how to forgive others. In Matthew's Gospel, chapter 5, begin reading with verse number 23. It says, "Therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you," he said, "leave your gift in front of the altar." In other words, don't offer your gift yet, but first go and be reconciled to your brother. Then come and offer your gift. Now listen to this, folks. A servant's heart will always forgive. Pastor, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go ahead and forgive, but I'm not going to forget. If you have not forgotten, if you have not come to the point to where you're saying, you know what, I can't even hardly remember what they have done, then you truly have not forgiven. Jesus had a perfect servant's heart. That's why he is even here today during this devotion and wants to forgive you. I'm going to close this morning by this, but I want to share this with you. It absolutely wonderful, wonderful illustration, true story. There was a book called Robert E. Lee, The Last Years. A guy by the name of Charles Braceland Flood reports that after the Civil War, this is interesting, so make sure you get this. After the Civil War, Robert E. Lee visited a Kentucky lady who took him to the remains of a grand old tree in front of her house. while she stood there, she started to cry bitterly. I mean, she was weeping and wailing. She said that's the limbs and the trunk that had been destroyed by the federal artillery. She looked at Robert E. Lee for a word that would condemn the North, or at least sympathizing with her loss. And after a brief silence, I love this part, after a brief silence, Lee said, "Ma'am, cut it down and forget it, because it is better to forgive the injustices of the past than to allow them to remain and let bitterness take root and poison the rest of your life." And that's really what I want to say to all of you this morning. If you have got bitterness and you got things in your life that are causing you not to move forward, cut the tree down. For it's better to cut it down and forgive the injustices of yesterday than to allow the bitterness of yesterday to ruin your future. Cut it down and let it go. And that's my word for you today. That's the word of the Lord, I believe, for you today. Cut it down and let it go. Jesus forgave when he didn't have to. Why don't you do the same thing he did for you and start forgiving today? Well, God bless you. I love you. Write me, Pastor Randy at msn.com. Let me know what you think. God bless you. Now you go out and have the best day of your life.